Ladies and gentlemen, all over the world there is low birth rate in certain locations, and Scotland is another place that has a low birth rate. This came out on BBC News September 11th, 2019. Scotland spring. Birth rate hits record low. Provisional statistics show 12,253 births were registered in the second quarter of 2019, 5.4% lower than 2018. It is the lowest number recorded between April and June since registration began in 1855. Scotland's population stands at 5.4 million, the highest it has ever been, but the Scottish government said it faced distinct challenges. The National Records of Scotland also revealed there were 13,652 deaths in the same period, 0.2% more than last year. The provisional figures for April 1st through June 30th, 2019, showed that compared to the previous 5 years, births in the second quarter have fallen by 9.3%, and deaths have risen by 0.9%. This equates to a rate of 9 births per 1,000 population, compared with 9.6 in the same quarter in 2018 and 11.4 a decade ago. The report said possible reasons for the decline included women leaving motherhood until later in life. Aren't they doing that everywhere? Except for Africa. They're not doing that in Africa. Women having fewer children and economic uncertainty, particularly given that the beginning of the recent fall coincide with the financial crash a decade ago. Aging population. All right, so they are going through the same thing when you look at America, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Everybody has, even China, the Asian nations, all have aging population that's bigger than the younger generations that follow. So, Scotland, it's the same thing. Given our declining birth rate, all of Scotland's population growth is predicted to come from migration. However, the UK government proposal to end free movement of people and limit migration presents a real risk. We need to ensure we can grow our working age population to support our economy and society now and in the future, when we expect more people to live longer beyond retirement. Compared with the second quarter of 2018, there was an increase in deaths from dementia and Alzheimer's disease and cancer. There was a drop in deaths from coronary heart disease and respiratory diseases. The provisional figures also showed there were 7,613 marriages this spring, the lowest number recorded for that time of the year. There were 231 same sex marriages, 20 fewer than the time period last year, 25 civil partnerships. Paul Lowe, Registrar General for Scotland, said in line with recent trends, the number of births and marriages in Scotland continues to fall, with the numbers registered in the second quarter of 2019 being the lowest since civil registration began in 1855. The number of second quarter deaths was virtually unchanged from last year. However, it represents an increase of 6.9% since 2009, when the number of deaths reached their lowest ever level for 2 quarters. Okay. You know, this seems to be something that's being repeated everywhere, especially in Western nations. That's where you see the most of the dropping birth rates and higher death rates, just like you see here in Scotland. Now, they said, let me just get up here, they had 13,652 deaths, and they had 12,253 births in the second quarter of 2019. So as you can see, there definitely are more deaths than there are new babies being born. So, like I said, this is something that's trending all over the globe in many locations. And they can't settle this. They can't resolve it, you know? And many of them were saying immigration is never going to resolve this. It's not. It really is not the answer to a falling birth rate. So many of these countries are going to have to figure out what they're going to do economically when there's less people from these European populations in their nation. That means it's going to be less money in the economy. It's going to be less consumers buying. It's going to be less people in the workforce. So now you're going to have to do something about these oversized economies that you have now so that you'll be able to make it when there's fewer people in the country. Because remember, just like here, the baby boomers is their last biggest population, even in European nations. So now what are you going to do when you have to work with less? But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comments and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.